Hi crocheters and knitters of the world, actually it is better because from time to time, as I always say, from time to time I also like to knit, so this is a knitting tutorial, so hi knitters of the world. Okay, crochet knitters of the world. Anyway, in this tutorial we will work together on this gilet or cardigan, so it's you to decide if you want to put the sleeve or to leave it sleeveless. With a fur yarn that we have it in our boutique. It's such a soft, yes it is soft, but it is so light. Because usually the fur yarn is heavy, you know, but this is so light. I work for myself medium size, as you know. It's a 62 centimeters in length, a medium size, and I use 400 grams for the cardigan. This is what is left, the leftover. So it's something incredible. With 7 millimeters knitting needles, and yes, 4 skeins of yarn for a small to medium, even 3 for a small size if you want to work it sleeveless, the sleeveless portion. Anyway, in the tutorial I pass you through the entire pattern, the sleeves too, and of course they are more difficult parts, and I insisting in their parts, obvious, because it's something normal, as you already know from my tutorials. Now, what I want to say more, I don't know, all the details or the infos about this project, so we can just begin to knit. It is easy. If you are a beginner, you can try it. Give it a try. It is easy, believe me. I'm not an advanced knitter. I like to knit. I also design some knitting projects with this one too, but I wouldn't define myself a advanced knitter. I like to knit, and I am a crochet designer, so actually all of my crochet standard of top down and so on, I took them from knitting constructions, so that's why I can say yes, from time to time I like to knit to design some knitting projects. Yes, that's it. I think this is all. If you have some more questions, the written pattern, oh yes, the written pattern, you can write me on the mail that you have it here below on the screen, and if you want to purchase it, is from small to extra large, and I will tell you in the mail all the instructions for purchasing this written instruction if you need it. But I think you will need, because maybe if you are an advanced knitter, you can just do it by yourself with only the tutorial. Anyway, let's get started. For this gilet that I am wearing, at the end of this, I know that usually you ask me, oh, but you wear something very beautiful in that tutorial, so now I am telling you that at the end of this tutorial you have the clickable end card for this tutorial too, so you have it, don't worry. Bye. Let's get started. Before we go ahead and begin our knitting part of the tutorial, I just want to draw a little bit the way I imagined, actually the way I created my design. The structure, it's really easy. It's a bottom up, and we need to cast on the hip circumference, but with 4 centimeters ease, I can say. okay? 2 to 4 centimeter is, depends on how large you want it to be, okay? But it's nice, this is the idea, it's nice, nice and large on the bottom part, okay? So hip circumference, and from here we will go ahead and work like this. We work straight, we will work straight. All the circumference, a large piece that includes front, the two front side and the back side, okay? If you have a larger circumference for the chest, bust circumference, then you can use that one. But usually it's the hip circumference. We will go ahead and work, as I've told you, back side and front sides together, so all together, until the wrist, until the waistline, okay? So you will reach the waistline with working straight without increasing, decreases. Increasing, decreasing. And from the waistline to the arm holder, to the armhole, to the underarm, armpit, we will work a series of decreases, 3, at each third knitted, attention, knitted row. So you decrease and then work 1, 2 more knitted rows and decrease again into the next, and you will do this for 3 times, okay? 3 decreases or as many decreases as you will need. You will measure the back side, as many decreases you will need for shoulder to shoulder length, okay? So more or less, but nice and large here too, not very exactly, okay? So this is the length, let's say, that we aim for, okay? And then we will just work the front side. So we go ahead and work the armholes. So the front side we will just bind off some stitches, then work front side, and here we will also bind off some stitches, work a little bit of neckline, and yes, this is front side. Then we will work the back side, binding off the same number of stitches at the end of and at the beginning of the row, and we will work the back side. And then if you want to, at the end of this tutorial, you will have the sleeves, how to work the sleeves, okay? So this is the construction. As I've told you before, it is really easy. Now just let me show you how I began, how I work the borders and all. The first part, the part till the where we work the armhole. So this part I will show you on a really small sample, because it's really easy. All that we have to do is to work this straight and then to put some decreases. So it is really easy. That's why I decided to work it on a small sample. So I begin, so I cast on with the thumb method, I think it is the name, it is called, or the long tail method. Okay, don't forget that you will need a weight sample, the gauge, for the gauge. It is really difficult to measure the gauge here with this 4 stitch or 4 yarn. It is not easy. Anyway, it is possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Okay, I will just go ahead and 16, 17, 18, For my sample I put 34 stitches. Now I will work, actually I worked 10 rows for the border. Here I will work only 5 in garter stitch. Garter stitch, you know, is knit all rows, okay, all 10 rows actually, but I will knit only 5 rows because, as I've told you before, this is only a sample just to illustrate how I worked this part of the project. There is also the pattern, written pattern, and you can write to me on the mail that you will find below of this tutorial if you want to purchase it. Okay, so I will just make like this. And work, so as I said, knit all stitches. Knit all stitches. All stitches, all rows. For a total of 10, I will knit only 5 in garter stitch. This is knit all rows. This is the garter stitch. I will catch up you later when I finish my 5 garter stitch rows. So I have 46 stitches just for the sample, and I work 4 rows of garter stitch. I need 2 plus 2 markers like this and 1 like this. Now we will begin with these 2 for now, and we will need them for the borders. So from now on we will work in stockinette stitch. To work in stockinette stitch, so from the garter stitch to the stockinette stitch, the first row will be a purl row, but I want to put some borders at the front side borders that you've seen on my cardigan. And for these borders we will still work in garter stitch, so knit only. So I decided to put to leave 4 stitches on at the beginning, 4 at the end for my border. So I will work 1, 2, I will knit 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then I will put a marker, so like this I cannot go wrong. And now I will purl all the way till my last 4 stitches that I will knit. I will work in garter stitch. So first 4 and last 4. In my pattern I leave 5, okay, not 4 but 5 stitches. Okay, and now I will just continue on working all the row till the last 4. Before the last 4 I will put the other marker, and this is the story about the first pair of markers. I finish my row and I work my last 4 stitches in garter stitch, so knit only, and I also put the other marker. Okay, now we know what we have to do, we need these 2 markers. I will explain now what we will do with the other this one. This one we will mark the side. So when you work with a normal yarn, it's not important because we can see it. When we work with fur yarn, it's a little bit difficult to identify when you work in stockinette stitch the knit part and the purl part. That's why I always put a marker like this, So I know to mark the knit part, not mark, the knit part. So like this, I know that this is the knit part, so this is the part where I have to knit. This is the front, let's say the right side, sorry. So these are the stitches to be worked in garter stitch. Knit 1, 2, 3, 4. Pass the marker, and now we know that we will knit all the row because we are on the front or on the right side, sorry, not front, but the right side. On the wrong side, working in stockinette stitch, we purl, okay? And this is the use of this third marker. Now I will work like this some more rows in stockinette stitch and garter stitch for the borders, and then I will show you why I need the other two markers, if you don't understand so far. Okay, now just let me show you how it looks. I just went on for a little bit, some rows, just to show you how it looks. So even if we work with a 4 yarn, it looks just lovely if we work this in garter stitch, so we have a border at the beginning and at the end, and on the bottom. Now, why we need the other pair of my marker? I already began my row and insert one, but I will explain you immediately. I have 46 stitches divided by 2 is 23, and this 20 part, so one of 23 is the back side. But the other one must be the front side, but we have two parts of the front side because it's a cardigan. We have two parts, so 23 it can be divided by 2. So it can, but we don't have the number of stitches odd. It's a odd number, so it is not good for us. So I will put one more on the back side, which will be 24, and there will be 22 on the front side, which is 11 and 11 one side and the other. So work 11, put the marker which will divide the front side from the back side. Now I am working on my 24 stitches of the back side, and I will put again the marker and then work the other 11 of the other front side. So like this, we will know where we have, we will know the back side and the front side, which are, okay. And this is important when you will begin, when you will work the armhole, but also when you will work the second part of the construction that I shown you at the beginning of this video, which is the decreases part. And in a moment I will show you. Oh, I didn't count, sorry. So this is the construction, as you know, and I actually divided in 3 parts. The first part is this one, that is the hip circumference working length. It's very important for the entire length of the project, so it's you to decide. And we go straight. We also put our markers because for the second part, where we will decrease to gain actually the circumference, the bust circumference or chest circumference, we will decrease how much, more or less 3 to 4 decreases, don't put more. We will decrease exactly before and after each marker, so which not these obvious, but these markers that we put in the second time. Okay, so before and after, because we have to decrease on the front side, back side, front side, back side. Okay, so that's why we need the markers first, and then we will need them when into the third part, when we will work and now we will work exactly the third part. I don't show you, I don't know, I don't know, but it's for the second part it's just easy, because you just need to decrease. To decrease you work 2 stitches together, so this is nothing difficult. That's why I am not showing you in the tutorial how to work the second part, but we will go ahead and work the third part now. And the third part, it is worked exactly on the gilet itself, and then there will be the fourth part if you want to put the sleeves.